2018 climate summary was just released today, and it showed that we had several natural disasters in the United States to happen, and a lot of those were tropical related. We had some tornado outbreaks in the obviously the Midwest, but also like Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi, places like that. We had another hail event in Texas and Colorado, which that seems to happen a lot, and obviously the wildfires out in the West. And Jared, we kind of look forward to seeing these new graphics come out every year, but it seems like it's the same old story in the same places.
Yeah, the one thing that we didn't have was the $1 billion ice disaster that we had in 2017. Kind of a topical for tonight. But yeah, pretty much everything else, again, very, what was supposed to be a quiet hurricane season ended up being rather active for many of us in the Carolinas and into the Gulf Coast. But yeah, I mean, this is a lot of the same, and again, there's it's still very warm. I was looking at some of the state breakdowns here. Let me get that back out, and if you look at that, so for example, North Carolina had its wettest year on average ever, and South Carolina was like the 116th. Well, these are backwards, that's kind of funny. It's like, I'm gonna have to do some math here on the fly, and that's not my strong suit.
What is that, the ninth wettest year in South Carolina? Melissa would know.
Yeah. But regardless of say, it's been hot, it's been rainy, and tropical systems have certainly not been helpful, at least to help eliminate drought. We started last year with a rather severe drought in the Southeast, and then May happened and cleared that out, and then Florence happened, and that really put the end to that.
Definitely so. And I don't know if we have that graphic, James. I know you're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but there was the highest minimum temperature, so it's like the highest low temperature map, that North Carolina and Virginia experienced the highest low temperature year on record. And maybe Melissa, you can maybe describe that better, because I think I just butchered that. But basically, it was the warmest year that we've seen low temperatures, right?
Okay. So the minimum temperatures, when we look at minimum temperatures, we look at, it's usually the lowest temperature that we see. And you can have two extremes of that. You can have a low minimum temperature and a high minimum temperature. And we did see a lot of record high minimum temperatures. This time last year in February 2018, we were looking at, I believe it was close to, I think I mentioned this in last week's show, it was almost 150 tied or broken high minimum temperatures here in South Carolina. And numbers were similar for North Carolina too. And February 2018 went down as the warmest by average temperature February for the state of South Carolina. And that beat out 1927, which had been the warmest February on record. So we've gone a long period of time, and we were warm. I mean, we had record warmth with the maximum temperatures, but it really was those minimum temperatures not dropping as low as they typically do that really kind of push that warming, that average temperature to be so warm in February and throughout the year.
Yeah, so we're expecting to see warm temperatures here in the Carolinas tomorrow. A lot of records potentially could be broken with the high temperatures. I know a lot of the climate sites in North Carolina were targeted to go above or be the warmest February 7th on record. And I think the case in South Carolina, but